Hi folks, Dino Bob here, back in Lost Kingdom Park, and this time we're starting our Cenozoic expansion. I'm putting in Paraceratherium proper for the first time, and it's got its own place in the park. The first of the mammals in, largest known mammal. Land mammal, that is, of course. Anyway, we're going to take the usual walk out through the central plaza because I did some work on the left there in that quarter of the central plaza. The buildings are all repurposed from existing buildings to give it more of a same architecture feel. Um, and there are functional shops in them as well. So we're going to cruise down fairly quickly out to the area where the Cenozoic expansion is going to take place. I was looking specifically to get animals that would be comfortable in this tropical environment for the first ones in. And we're going to slow down now as we approach the main entrance. We did pass a small river walk entrance, which is kind of a back way in to the area, and particularly to the Paraceratherium enclosure. You can see the columns, the big one way in the back and one up closer. Those are intended to mark off this Cenozoic area and be visual guide points from other parts in the park. So there's the Paraceratherium sign set up in this little landscaped area that is something we're going around now as we approach the barrier. And as we approach the barrier, so does the Paraceratherium. Um, this is the dark colored skin. I don't remember what it's called. It does have ear wiggling though, but then they all do. Um, and the sign, a specific adaptation for this part of the park. Uh, and the base of one of those columns, you can see a little bit of rock wall there. So I used blocks to give sort of that Lost Kingdom vibe to the bottom of the standard fence. Uh, and we look around, that's the landscaped area there with a couple of benches and more of the columns. In a couple of places I put in blocks to provide steps up for shorter people and or kids, assuming kids ever show up in here. And it's a pretty simple viewing area. It's got pretty good lines of sight into a good part of the habitat. Uh, it's a little hard to see from this angle, but the ground slopes up in the right-hand part of the frame toward the back of the exhibit, and we'll take a look at that in a bit. There are two of the beasts in there. I'm only seeing the one at the moment. I don't know where the other one got to, but they do seem to like to hang out in this lower flat part. Uh, this is the Riverwalk area right at the habitat, still undeveloped out there. And there you can see an archway that will let you know you've come to more of a habitat area rather than just a transit area in the park. So here's the overview. On the left, you can see the big viewing area and animal shelter area for the Pseudoceratops and hadrosaurs over there. And this is the shelter building I built for the Paraceratherium. There's a geothermal energy plant there. You can see the slope down to the flatter area. It's not terribly fancy exhibit. They seem to be happy in it, and that's of course what matters. Um, didn't take a lot of time, so we'll take a little bit of look at the animals trying to do things. These guys so far have been, well, kind of boring animals. They eat, they lie down, they sleep. Occasionally go take a drink of water. Um, no fancy animations, but that's not too terribly surprising in such a large animal. It really isn't built for jumping around. So the feeding animations continue to be somewhat problematic about their targeting, but it is what it is. It may get better with the locomotion update, which is still on its way as I did this. But I kind of like the vibe I got with the columns and the brickwork at the bottom of the fence. It's a pretty good effect for relatively minimal effort, although admittedly with each of those blocks being separate, it's a pretty high piece count for that. They're good looking beasts. I don't remember whether this is the male or the female. Um, they're pretty similar. There doesn't seem to be dimorphism for this skin. Or if there is, it's pretty subtle. While I was filming this, I was getting a lot of glitches with the animals jumping. I don't know what that was all about. Um, just, little stutters in their movement. Hopefully that was just a odd thing that was happening and not going to be a standard thing given how much this park is built up. There's a waterfall by the water hole there. You can see it in this shot. Speaking of sleeping, you're twitching, sleeping Paracera while its companion decides to have a little bit of food. It's kind of a nice wake-up animation there with the animal looking around, getting its bearings before deciding to get back up to its feet, which it ought to be doing about, what was that? The one in the back there did a funny stumble step. But anyway, so that one's going to lay down. So you get to see both the, yes, make a big noise. See both the stand up and the lie down animations in one shot. So that's pretty much all I have for today. Next time we'll be doing another mammal in this portion of the park, another one that will be happy in the habitat. Thanks y'all for stopping by. If you'd like to leave a like, that would be great. Make a comment, probably even better. And subscribe if you haven't. And you'll get to see more of this kind of stuff and the other stuff I do. So, Dino Bob, getting ready to sign off. You all be kind to each other and take care of yourselves out there. I'll see you again in another video, I hope. Bye now.